In the 2010s, there was a part of Ghana where the roads didn't just slow you down. They exposed you. Long stretches of red earth. No street lights. No signal. And sometimes, no help. So imagine you're on a bus. It's packed with traders, farmers, families. The engine is struggling through a bad road near Tease. When suddenly, men step out of the bush. Armed. Waiting. And in that moment, you realize something terrifying. This wasn't random. They knew you'd be there. They knew you'd have to slow down. And for months, people in the Afram Plains believed one name was behind it all. Belko Tambaya. To understand the story, you have to understand the place. The Afram Plains. Located in the eastern region of Ghana, stretching across Afram Plains north and south. It is one of the most isolated parts of the country. The land is vast. Savanna, thick bush, scattered farming communities. With the Volta Lake, one of the largest man-made lakes in the world, cutting through parts of it. The people here are diverse. You would find Ewe, Twi, Guan, and other local languages being spoken. Also, you'll find Fula being spoken among pastoralist communities. Most people here survive on farming and fishing. Maize, cassava, yam, and cattle rearing. For all its beauty, the Afram Plains has one major problem. Getting in and getting out. It's not easy. The roads are rough. In some areas, almost non-existent. When it rains, they become nearly impassable. And that makes things difficult. Because when a place is hard to reach, it's also hard to police. If something happens deep in the bush, help might be hours away, sometimes longer. And criminals, they know this. By 2013, one name kept coming up in police reports and local conversations. Belko Tambaya. According to police, he was a Nigerian national, around 32 years old by the time of his arrest. He wasn't just some outsider passing through. He had roots. His father, Alhaji Belko, was a Fulani chief in Iche Amanfo. That matters. Because in many rural areas, Fulani chiefs act as leaders and intermediaries for pastoralist communities. So Tambaya wasn't invisible. He was known, connected, which made what he allegedly became even more unsettling. Police say he had been terrorizing parts of the Afram Plains for months. He was linked to robberies, violence, even murder. But what made him difficult to catch was how well he blended in. As pressure started building, Belko disappeared. Not out of the region, but further into it. He reportedly moved to a village called Matthew Kope and lived as a shepherd. Just another man in the bush, herding animals, watching, waiting. The stories coming out of Afram Plains were in small crimes. They were bold, strategic. One of the most chilling incidents involved a metro mass transport bus near Tease. Now, if you know anything about metro mass, you know these buses carry a lot of people. Farmers, traders, entire livelihoods on wheels. And on that road, where vehicles are forced to slow down to a crawl, armed men reportedly struck, robbing passengers, leaving them on edge. And that wasn't all. In Kwame Boye, a group of armed men attacked a community. 3 people were shot, and nearly 50 cattle were taken. Think about it, that's not petty theft. That's an operation. And if, like me, you've seen just a few cattle being headed, you know it's no easy task. So taking nearly 50 at once, that requires planning, very, very good planning. Then there were smaller, more personal attacks, like a female trader in Chuchukope, robbed at gunpoint. For people in these communities, that kind of loss isn't just money. It's survival. For a trader, that money might be everything. Losing it could mean starting from zero. Now, there's another layer to this story that makes it even more sensitive. The Fulani. Across West Africa, Fulani pastoralists have moved across borders for generations, including into Ghana. Most are peaceful, living quietly, raising cattle, trading, just doing their best, trying to survive like everyone else. But over time, because of a few high-profile cases, some communities have begun to associate Fulani people with robbery or cattle rustling. That perception, fair or not, has led to tension, suspicion, and in some cases, violence. So when someone like Belko Tambaya is accused of these crimes, it doesn't just stay about one man. It risks affecting an entire community. And that's what made this case even more dangerous. Because if he wasn't caught, people might start taking matters into their own hands. This was putting innocent lives at risk. For months, he avoided capture. The terrain helped him. The isolation helped him. And possibly his connections helped him. Police even reached out to his father, urging him to produce his son. But nothing. Until one day, a tip came. Someone finally knew where he was. Matthew Koppe, living quietly as a shepherd. The police didn't rush him blindly. This was a man with weapons. They didn't want any casualties. So they watched, waited, and then they moved. On June 10th, 2014, Belko Tambaya was arrested. No dramatic shootout. No escape. Just over. But here's the thing about stories like this. They don't really end with an arrest. Because even though some things have improved, the conditions that allowed it haven't gone away. Some roads are better now, but many are still difficult. The communities are still isolated. And the fear doesn't just disappear overnight. Belko Tambaya may have been one man, but his story raises a bigger question. In places where the system struggles to reach, who really keeps people safe when help is hours away?